Shalom, this is Levi Shore. Welcome back to Sweet Good Torah. So today we're going to be learning The Infinite Light by Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan. And there's something incredible we learned in Pirkei Avos. It says in Pirkei Avos, chapter 6, I think it's the end of the 6th Mishnah, after the 48 ways to learn the Torah. It says, "For you have learned this, whoever repeats a thing in the name of the one who said it brings the Geula, brings the redemption to the world." So as it says in the Megillas Esther, it says, "And Esther said to the king in the name of Mordecai." And that's in the Megillas Esther, I think 2nd chapter, 22nd pasuk. Okay, so I've heard so many people teach these amazing things from Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan's book, The Infinite Light. And I've never heard a lot of people say it in Rabbi Kaplan's name. So I want to start recording some of these, The Infinite Light of Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan. We want to say it in his name, so that his Torah gets full credit for in bringing this amazing Torah into the world. So here we go. So we're going to learn about the legend of the philosopher that once came to Rabbi Meir. And he told him, he says, this philosopher says, "I don't believe in God. I feel that the universe came into being by itself, of its own accord, without any outside help." It's actually fascinating because Aristotle, the famous Greek philosopher, I think he was a student of Plato, was a student of Socrates, something like that. And Aristotle also wrote a lot that the universe always existed. And this was the scientific theory all the way up to the Big Bang Theory, where they said, the universe, there was a big explosion and the universe started, it got created. So Rabbi Meir, he didn't reply to this. So a few days later, he came to the philosopher and he showed him a beautiful piece of poetry. And it was written in a fine hand, like a very nice, writing on a smooth white parchment. So the philosopher looked at the parchment and admired it. He asked, "Who is the great poet who wrote this lovely poem? Who is the talented scribe who copied it?" So Rabbi Meir, he shook his head and he answered, "You were completely wrong. There was no poet. There was no scribe. This is what really happened. The parchment was lying on my desk next to a bottle of ink. A cat accidentally knocked over the bottle, spilling ink all over the parchment. This poem was the result." The philosopher looked at Rabbi Meir in amazement. He said, "But that is impossible. Such a lovely poem, such perfect script. Such things do not come into being by themselves. There must be an author. There must be a scribe." Rabbi Meir smiled. He answered the philosopher, "You yourself have said it. How could the universe, which is much more beautiful than any poem, come into being by itself? There must be an author. There must be a creator." What Rabbi Meir was dramatizing, of course, was the argument from design. We see a world that appears to be well planned and purposeful. Everything in nature fits into its place. Tremendously complex creatures, such as man himself, exist in this world. How can a sane man really believe that all this came into being without a purposeful creator? So there is a midrash telling us that this is how Abraham first realized the existence of God. Abraham said, "Is it possible that a brightly illuminated castle can exist without an owner? Can one say that this world exists without a creator?" Ultimately, there's a certain blindness involved in not seeing God. This is what the prophet meant when he said, the prophet Isaiah, he said, "How upside down are things? Is the potter no better than the clay? Can something say of its maker, 'He did not make me'? Can a pot say to the potter, 'He has no skill'?" All that we must do is ask the right questions. The Zohar quotes the pasuk, "Lift up your eyes to the stars and see who has created these." This is from Yeshaya chapter 40, pasuk 26. So the world that we see in these, in Lashon HaKodesh is Elah. Look at these and ask who. And in Lashon HaKodesh, the word who is me. So combine these two words, Elah and me. So these and who. And you obtain the name Elohim, the Hebrew name for God. So one must merely ask the right questions and God appears in the answers. A person need only look at himself, and he will see the handiwork of the Creator. The fact that you can think or move your hand is the greatest miracle possible. In Tehillim, we say, "I will thank God, for I am fearful and wonderfully made," in Tehillim 139:14. And all this is summed up in one sentence in the Torah. From my flesh I will see God. In Eov 19:26, Job, I can see God in the very fact that something as miraculous as my flesh can exist. All right, so great story of Rabbi Meir and the Philosopher. And it is amazing that people, would never believe that something as simple as like a water mill, it says in Philosopher, was created by itself, that it randomly came together. But something as big as the universe and all all the variety of plant life and animal life and human beings, it's amazing. People can say, it just happened. And there's no God. No one's running it. Just all by itself. But hope you enjoyed it. The Infinite Light by Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan. Hopefully we'll do a lot more.